3, 2, 1. We are all here shooting this shit with our hosts, DJ Duss and Bamboo Bam. Let's go.
Oh, what's up? I'm your host, DJ Duss, with my co-host, Bamboo. What's up, Bam?
Yeah, what's good, brother? How you feeling today?
Good. Started a new job. Did some orientation.
Mm-hmm.
People were asking me how it was my first day, and it's orientation. I just watch videos. And I don't know if I'm immature, but when you watch the sexual harassment videos, you kind of have to giggle sometimes because it's funny. It's not to be a jerk, but it's funny. Especially when the old man looks at me and goes, "It's just a massage." That's what he said to me today, man. Well, I know he was joking, but some people would have taken that shit seriously, you know. But it was good first day, man. Good, looks like a good place to be. But I'll let you know next week after my first week of actually working there and how terrible it is.
All right.
And then I'll use the podcast as therapy. And you can be my, Dr. Phil, you know what I mean?
All right, Dr. Bam, got you.
Dr. Bam, let's do this, man. Everybody, like our Facebook page. That's at Shooting the Shit. You can stream all our live episodes, watch our old ones, comment, ask questions, be a part of the show. You can do the exact same thing on YouTube. You can stream all our episodes live. Be a part, man. Press the subscribe button, the notification button. It dings once we're going live, and that's at Shooting the Shit Podcast. Once that's all over, it gets uploaded on all major streaming platforms. That's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Amazon Music, all that other stuff. It's on absolutely everything, man. Check it out at Shooting the Shit Podcast 1. Damn, Bam. So a while ago, you told me, man, we need to get a band up on here.
That's right.
You remember you telling me that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm happy about that.
I gotta love Instagram, man. Shit pops up on my page, listen to their music. And I only try to get people on here that I actually enjoy their music.
Yes, that's right.
Like, you know what I mean? You want to enjoy. I want to help promote these guys, and they're doing really well. They have a great single that's out right now. So nice. I hollered at them. They said yes, and I was extremely happy. We finally got our first band on here. We have a couple lined up. This is our first that's going to be on here right now. Let's get them on right now. We got Adam. What's up, Adam? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Yo, I'm doing great. Good, Glad to be here.
Good. Eric, how you doing, brother?
What's up, guys? I'm doing fantastic.
We got Brody. How you doing, Brody?
Hey, folks.
Pedro, you're on mute, by the way. Just to give you, he unmuted himself. He knew the button. I appreciate that, my brother. I like that. How you doing, buddy?
Thanks.
Things are good, man. So I want to get right into it, man. It's so cool to have a band on. I like to see people's different perspective on certain things. But tell me individually. Tell me a bit about yourself. Where were you born and raised? Instrumentals that you play, and how long you've been playing them. We'll start with you, Adam.
Yeah, right on. So I'm a Canada boy. I was born in Vancouver, British Columbia, and then I lived in Calgary until the age of 8 years old, and then I moved out to the East Coast, and I've been living here ever since. Okay. And I'm
Big difference from the West to East?
Oh, big difference. Yeah, it's I'm so used to being an East Coast boy now that it's like second nature. But
that's cool. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah,
nice.
All right, we'll go to Eric. Go ahead, bro.
Well, I play drums. I played drums a lot in my youth. Around 11 or 12 when I started. I stopped playing after around 18 years old, 19 years old. My cousin came back from Nashville probably 3 years ago, and he's a guitar player, and he kind of passed the music bug onto me, and nice. I picked up a drum kit again, and the band that I had kind of fell apart. So and it was actually a blessing in disguise because it got me online looking for more musicians to play with, and that's when these guys just kind of fell right on my lap.
Nice.
So it's been quite the journey, but I've born and raised in Salisbury, New Brunswick. East Coast for life. It's the place to be. Even though there's no money, it's the place to be.
So I got one quick question. What made you quit drumming at 18?
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of was going through some stuff. I kind of got into some stuff, and I got rid of all my music equipment. Yeah. And I pretty much gave it away.
Wow.
And I feel every day I feel so stupid. But I'm actually very, very thankful that hip hop has finally taken over rock and roll as the number one preferred genre worldwide, because it made musical instruments dip in price big time.
I was wondering too. I was like, I can see that. Okay, no problem. That works.
So that drum kit that would cost $2,000  10 years ago, 15 years ago, now cost about $1,000.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Brody, yourself, brother.
Much like Eric, I'm from Salisbury, New Brunswick. East Coast for life. Played guitar for 15 years. And then a year ago, these guys asked me if I wanted to join and play bass for them. So it's been a very fun year, and looking forward to the future with these guys.
That's awesome, man. Pedro, yourself, brother.
Yes, I'm originally from Caracas, Venezuela, South America,
Venezuela.
and I've been in Canada for almost 9 years. And I picked up my instrument when I was 14, so back in 2010. And yeah, I met these guys almost 4 years now. Adam was the first one that I met.
Mm-hmm.
Met him through Kijiji because I was looking for just jam mates. I just wanted to jam. Really, I was looking for a drummer and a bassist. I didn't list for a vocalist because they're too hard to find, so didn't bother.
Yeah.
And then like a couple of weeks later, this guy messages me. It's like, well, I know you're not looking for a vocalist, but by the way, I can sing if you're interested. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not?
Why not? Yeah, for sure.
Okay. A side note for all you guys: is it hard to get together band members? Is it hard to find each other? You know what I mean? Like, you gotta post on Kijiji and get online and back and forth constantly. Y'all find it hard to reach out to each other or what?
Big time. Like,
Really?
I find so Pedro and I actually met up through Kijiji, but musicians are a dime a dozen, right? Like everybody plays guitar or everybody plays drums, but are they any good at it? You know what I mean? Like, just being honest, like you have to go through so many different people just to see if they're the same kind of personality, if they fit the band,
Of course.
if you can get along with them, and can they keep up with Pedro? Because Pedro's a machine on the guitar.
Okay.
So if everybody's not like at least at the same level, it makes it really difficult. Like Pedro and I went through, I want to say we've gone through 10 different bandmates to get to where we are now with this lineup with Brody and Eric. And it's just because there's a lot of people that want to play music, but they're not really motivated. They're not driven to be in a band that wants to actually play shows, that wants to record an album. And it's quite the process.
Okay. So who inspired you guys to get into music?
I could start that one.
Yeah, we'll start the exact same motion for sure.
Yeah. So my whole family on my father's side, they're all musicians. They've always been in bands. And basically when we would have family get-togethers, they would always be playing music. It was like a typical thing at Christmas time. Everybody gets in the kitchen, has an East Coast kitchen party, and they're playing guitar, they're singing. And my cousin, Brendan Furlot, shout out to Brendan Furlot. He's an amazing singer, amazing musician. And he basically was the one that inspired me to get better at singing and be a better musician.
Okay.
And yourself, Eric?
My old man, he plays the acoustic guitar, and he's what would you call that? He's a Woodstock leftover, I guess is what you call him. Like
Yeah.
He
True
had the
gangster.
rat tail. He had a rat tail. My mom says work made him cut him off, but I don't believe that. He had the rat tail, and I'm 28, so I was young enough where I could remember that. He's always had a guitar, and this is kind of a bittersweet story. My old man, I can't remember the brands, and I ask him every year because there's going to be a time where I pay him back. I think I was 11 years old. His electric guitar and his amp, beautiful. I wish I could remember the brand, but he did it so I could get my first PV drum kit out of the C magazine for Christmas. And I always think about that because he didn't have to do that. He could have just went and got me a simple little snare drum or just one little piece to see if I wanted to get into it. He just solely went on my word that I wanted to play music.
Nice.
And my sister grew up taking violin lessons, so my family's very musically inclined. It's just it's mainly my old man who got me into it, and I every day I appreciate him making that sacrifice so I could. I mean now he's good enough now. He's got like 9 acoustic guitars for some reason. I mean, sometime if you ever guys do an MTV Cribs segment, let me know. And
let's do it. Yeah.
we can set it up. But
and
that's basically it.
Yourself, Brody.
For me, my mom passed it down to me. She grew up in the 80s and 90s, took guitar lessons, and was able to thankfully pass that on to me, as well as her music taste. Everything from the Beatles to AC/DC, her stuff like Metallica, all that stuff kind of infused into one, kind of brought me to where I am today musically. So I'm definitely very appreciative for her bringing me on this path.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Good.
Pedro, how about yourself, brother?
For me, it was YouTube, actually. YouTube is what made me start playing music. There's no one in my family that is able to, play an instrument. But, growing up in Venezuela, the Caribbean, basically, there's a lot of exposure to a lot of different genres of music, salsa, merengue, right? There's a mix of everything. So I think the whole country is very culturally inclined towards dancing and, that aspect. My family, everyone dances. It's in the culture, but rock music isn't that popular in the country. So it was through YouTube, really. Just friends
for real?
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Just friends of mine, they show me like YouTube music videos of like Jimi Hendrix and like this like classic guitar players like Chuck Berry and stuff. And when I saw that, like,
legends.
Whoa, like it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Though none of you guys struggled when you first, because me, I got crushed in music class. Like my heart was crushed. Like I sucked at every instrument. I'm the guy with the triangle in the corner. Ding. That's my instrument
too. I agree. I 100% agree. I played basketball. I got really good at it. I had to practice. Drums, I sucked at it. I had to practice a lot. I think it's like that. I think it's see the guitar is the only thing I can't play. Okay. No matter how many times I try, I can't play it.
Like I DJ'd my whole life, but watching a band on stage is phenomenal. Like I just
definitely.
Like I'm always like, oh, you guys are getting a band for your wedding too? I'm more excited for the band than I am myself DJing. You know what I mean? Like there's an energy that you guys provide that I could never provide. You know what I mean? And it's so awesome. And then the admire, people are like, oh, yo, you're pretty good. No. Those guys are good. I just learned how to make some music, and I can teach the next guy how to do it. You know what I mean? Some guys are way better than others. I get it, but musicians, man, putting their stuff together, I don't know. You guys are fantastic.
I mean, shit, I could run my mouth on the microphone all day, but getting behind one of them instruments, I'm like, I'm like a deer in headlights.
Now that's an episode we got to watch now.
Deer in headlights. But I'll take a picture with it. But that's about it.
Oh yeah, it's wicked. Like when I see these guys pick up their instruments, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I don't know how they do it. Like I've always wanted to play the saxophone. I play a bit of guitar, but like I play chords. You know what I mean? Like I play campfire chords. That's about it. I can play a 4 on the floor drum beat. Like I can kind of do a tiny little bit of everything, but not that well. But that's where singing's my thing. Like I just I don't know. I've always been
extremely important, brother. Extremely important part of the band too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So we know you and Adam and Pedro met through Kijiji, but how did the rest of the band meet and formed?
So again, so we went through so many different bandmates, but one of our bandmates who's not in the band anymore, we're not gonna mention any names, but we basically he actually got a hold of Eric through some what was the website, Eric, that you guys met?
Shameless plug, bandmix.ca. If anyone ever wants to jam with anyone and needs anything, it is worth like the $14.99, and they're not paying me to say that. Honestly, it's one of the best music websites. I live in rural Salisbury, so like, and they have tons of musicians around my area. So imagine what it's like in the big cities.
Yeah, and the one thing about around here is that any of the decent musicians that like are really committed to being in a band, they're already in a band. So you gotta it's hard to find people that aren't in a band that are good, that are looking for a band. So we finally found Eric. He was like the he was the last addition to the band
Yeah.
until we had to make more changes. So now Brody's he's the last addition, hopefully. And I know how that's like. Like, I was in a band before Body Paint, and I was the last addition. They had everybody but a singer, and I always felt kind of like the odd man out. But it's like, you know, it's these guys know, like, we're all best friends already. Like, we're so close.
So my question is to you guys. So you and Pedro are together. You guys get a band member. He's pretty talented, but you guys can't stand him. I don't know if that's the case. I'm just saying. How do you,
That was it. Yeah, you got it.
How do you drop it on them, being like, bro, you got to get out of here. You know, you got to go play over there. Like, how do you do that?
Can I
Just
get
tell
that?
me.
Let
Let
me
me
get
be
this
the
one.
band member you're kicking out. Tell me.
Let me get this one, Adam.
Yeah, go ahead.
Without like talking down, but long story short, he took all of our stuff off the internet. All of our songs, videos, you name it. That right there was enough. That was
True,
it. Like, that
true.
was the
That
straw
would
that
do it.
broke the camel's back.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as like if somebody is like auditioning for the band,
Yeah.
which we've had many people do that, it's like it's almost like there's only been 1 or 2 times where we're like, don't call us, we'll call you, but in a nice way kind of thing, you know. You know, it's like Pedro and I don't want to like toot our own horns here, but like, we're really nice guys, so we're not going to be super mean to people, but we're nice to people. It ends up kind of being like a lot of people around here, I don't know what it is, but they don't have their license for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So we would have to go and pick everybody up. Like, it actually started, I would have to go pick Pedro up, and I was like, oh my God, this guy, like, I got to go pick him up. You serious? And then eventually he got like his Canada license, and he got a car. But when I had to go pick people up, and it's like, they're not motivated to be there. They don't talk much. They're quiet. I'm like, it'd be like, hey man, like, you're a nice guy, but you're not really like a fit for the band. So, you know.
Yeah, no, it's different. There's more to it technically, right?
Yeah,
You guys got
exactly.
4 talented guys. If you guys don't even mesh or click at all, what the hell you guys, you know, go on the road and do a show on the road? That'd be fucking terrible.
Yeah.
No?
Oh, geez.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
They end up killing each other, you know, before they get to where they're going.
Big time. We already want to kill each other sometimes, and we like each other.
That's
so.
exactly it.
Yeah.
Do you find it hard to keep the band together and on the same page? You know? And that,
Yep.
you know, all of you, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely yes. I mean, it's hard to, especially because like the big thing, and I always say this to people when I talk to outsiders and fans, if you will, like we're not friends being musicians. We're musicians trying to be friends.
Good call.
So when it's not as. It's hard to kick one of your friends out of a band. I've done it. I've had to do it when I was a teenager, and it's hard and it's weird.
Jesus.
But you know, when he's just some other guy that just plays an instrument, you've only known him for half a year. It's just like, yeah, whatever, man. You're not doing your job. Get the hell out of here.
Okay.
But when you get a group of guys who all mesh, I mean, there's some. It goes more smoothly than you know if you were a bunch of friends playing. Because like I said, that stigma of you know, it'd be like when you break up with someone in high school and you see him in the school and you walk by them like this.
Yeah.
It gets real weird. So I mean, we do tend to stay on the same page, and I mean, sometimes we have some people kick their feet, whether it be me, Adam, Pedro, or Brody. We're all guilty of it sometimes, and we all need a little kick in the ass sometimes. But I mean, that's just human nature, right? So
Right.
you can't really blame someone for either going through like a hard phase in their life, and you know, the band might not be the most serious thing, or you know, we all know that we have our own lives to deal with, so we can't always jump down each other's throats if we're not all on the same page, right?
Right.
Because I always find like bands that have been around and together forever, like, you know, they've had to go through some shit. You know what I mean? To get to where they're at and to this longevity. Like you can see a hip hop artist like, I don't want this producer, I don't want this DJ, and it's a little easier. But the band is like sometimes when you take away a key component of the band's not the same anymore.
That's right.
Exactly.
You've seen it, right? So when you grow and explode as one band, to take that one member out is like, it's hard to do. So I always find that's like I think it's a real struggle. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that you guys have egos, but there is egos, and we've heard about. We were talking about Axl Rose earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every documentary you've watched, there's always been someone in the band that's been a hard ass, or or always fucking up of some sort. But you know what I mean? It's hard because that's still your key component of your band. So I always find that.
Got all sorts of issues going on. Someone can be having a family problem, and it's hard to. I guess for you guys, it's hard to balance the business and the friendship and the family and what they're doing in their lives and stuff like that. It's hard. Everybody got different components going on, so it's hard to keep everybody together. I see, but you're doing it.
Absolutely.
So that's all that matters.
So you finally find all your piece members. Brody's technically the last piece to your band now. When did you start taking this seriously?
I took it serious from day one. Like I said, I was in a band called Wildcard. Like no one knew who we were. That was before Body Paint, and I always took it seriously. Like I always wanted to succeed with music. Like why wouldn't you want to do something that's your passion as your job? Like imagine being a musician and making a living off of it, right? So I've taken it seriously from day one. And then when I met Pedro, I was like, oh my God, like I think this band has a chance because we have a guy that can play guitar and he can come up with these creative, amazing like riffs that are the backbone to the song. And like all the pieces just fell together,
That's dope. Where did the name come from? Body Paint. Where did that come from?
You wanna take this one, Pedro?
Well, Adam came up with the name. I remember we had like a Facebook chat, and we would list just like cool names that would come up. We had probably like 30, 40, 50 names and stuff, and we kept scratching them off the list.
Yeah.
We had some working names previously. We're Desert Hands for months. Desert Hands. There's actually like a statue or something in the middle of like Peru or something in the middle of the desert, and like two hands doing that.
Yep.
So that's kind of cool. And we scratched that one off the list. We moved on to Telly Blind for a couple of other months, and then.
So why the name switch? Why'd you go from one name to another? Who was it? Like just after a while, you're like, this isn't it.
Probably like each time we had different members too. So I guess members would leave the band, and me and Adam would just revise like is this really the name we want? It's like
it's like it was like a fresh start too, right?
I get that for sure.
Yeah, because we didn't have a name for ourselves with those other band names, and with those members, just like it's one of those things that leaves a bad taste in your mouth when like you're finally meshing with a band, you got some songs going, and then they just leave the band. Like they just peace out for like almost no reason, right? So Pedro and I would be like, you know what? Let's just start fresh. The new guys that come in, let's start fresh. And it's not like Guns N' Roses. When Slash left the band, they weren't gonna change the name from Guns N' Roses to something else because they were already like they were already such a big name, right? But for us, it was just there was nothing going for us. So.
I get it. Yeah.
But Adam did come up with the name Body Paint, and when he brought it up, I fell in love with the name. I was like, Jesus, it's original. I remember we looked online to make sure that Body Paint was not taken anywhere. So Google Body Paint. There's no Body Paint. There's only one guy on I think Apple Music and Spotify.
Yeah.
Which was like Body Paint, like one word, no gap, no space.
Okay, that's
body
right.
Paint.
Or it might be Body Painting. It's something like that, but it's like
it was Body Paint. I'm pretty sure. And the guy only had like 3 songs or something. He
from like 2015.
He's not online, anyways. Not anymore. So I don't know. I guess
that's cool though, man.
Nice.
He didn't keep making music.
So Adam, you came up with where? How did it come up?
I thought it was really cool. Like, have you ever seen the people that paint people's bodies.
Yeah.
And it looks like, I don't know, you get like 3 people painted together and they look like a frog.
Yes, it's super
or
dope.
like even they could paint it like a naked person to look like they're wearing clothes.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
I was like, that is just so cool. And then
Yeah.
body paint just
Like
kind of
that.
sounded cool
I like
to
it.
me. So yeah, that's where it came from. It was just seeing the images of all these artists, because I mean, music is art too, right? And I was like seeing all this art, and I was like, that is so sick. Let's make the band body paint. Like, why not?
Man. It goes well together. It's fantastic.
I dig it. Tell me about your first performance together as a band.
Like this band right now, or like our first ever performance?
No, this one.
This band right here.
Last October.
Yeah,
I'll
that
take
was.
this one. If
Yeah, Brody, you take it, because you were the new addition for that one.
Yeah, so this was our first show as the 4 of us, and it was actually the only show that we've been lucky to play due to COVID restrictions that were going on.
Right.
Back in October, it was a local show, and we got to open for a couple other bands. And I can say it was easily the greatest night of my life. We all meshed really well on stage. We were very well practiced, and we all really vibed well. It was a great night for all of us, and a lot of people were really happy to see us.
That's cool, man.
Good.
Performing's one of the greatest feelings ever, guys. Like,
It is. Yeah.
No
I like that.
now, did COVID prevent you from? Obviously, not prevented you. It prevented everything in general. But was there other shows lined up after that, and then it, screwed everything up, or?
It's just that the shows basically wouldn't roll in. We've always, like, the East Coast is only like, well, the East Coast has a lot of venues, but like Moncton itself only has a few that are pretty well known, and some of them are like niche music, and we don't necessarily fit like the local niche. There's very few, I would say, like alternative rock bands like us. So basically it just the shows just stopped rolling in because no one's doing music anymore. The one that we had with Brody, actually, so that one came, it was like during the pandemic, but it was like once we switched from, it was like either the orange or the red phase to the yellow. So our booking agent, Michelle, he basically said, like, let's get a show and see how it does with COVID. Let's see if people come out, because I'm sure you've seen online, everybody was saying like, oh, I can't wait to get out to concerts. Oh, the next concert that's available, we're going to go.
Yeah.
So he was like, guys, let's do a show and see what happens. And so we did it. It did okay, considering like a lot of people here are taking the pandemic like super seriously. So it wasn't sold out by any means, but it was more or less like a trial run, and it didn't do as well as we hoped. So then basically we were like, all right, let's kind of slow down the shows right now because no one's going. People are scared, right? So it's and it makes sense.
Well, here in Ottawa, it's the even if the show opens, I swear to God, it's like they fit 50 people. Even if the venue can fit 500, still 50, right? So now you got to look at it as a bar owner. Is it worth opening the bar up for 50 people?
Yeah.
Et cetera, security and you never know, COVID protocols, all that other stuff, right? So it makes there's a restriction, and it kind of prevents them from wanting to have anything or any shows.
That's right.
So
Big time.
So we have a question from Alex. He says, do you guys play any cover and your original stuff also? And because here he finds that here in Ottawa that a lot of the bands are actually playing covers
all the time, man.
It's not only Ottawa. Not only Ottawa.
Yeah.
It's here too. It's alive and well.
We hate covers.
Actually,
we'd rather not do them.
Okay.
I bet you that's exactly what Adam is going to say. We have 2 covers. What are the covers, Adam? Which ones have we done?
It's like pulling teeth to pick a cover because we're like, do we even do one? But we ended up settling on, what was it, Seven Nation Army, and
Jimi Hendrix
All
songs.
Along the Watchtower.
Yeah.
Nice.
And like we try to keep it to a minimum because, like,
we got 20 songs.
Let's be honest, because there's so many cover bands here specifically. I mean, and obviously in Ottawa too. There's so many that people are sick of hearing the same songs over and over again. Like, I kid you not, it was a big joke for me. And this is nothing against any of the bands here, because that's what pays. If you play covers, that's what really pays. Like what we do, it's a lot harder to get money out of it. So basically, I would go to a bar in Moncton and I would hear a cover band playing Copperhead Road. Okay. And then I would leave that bar because I'm sick of hearing that song. And I would go to the next bar who would also have a cover band.
Same song.
And I shit you not, they'd be playing Copperhead Road.
Yeah.
And so I would leave and go to another bar, and finally they're not playing Copperhead Road, but they're playing another cover, right? And then 20 minutes later, they're playing Copperhead Road. So like, yeah, we're like, okay, guys, let's not do covers. And if we're gonna do them, let's pick ones that like either nobody plays or like ones that are just, I guess, out of the ordinary, you know?
I'm gonna tell you what I hate about cover music. All right, that's the only thing I hate about bands when it comes to a DJ. When I'm a DJ, I have to make sure there's SOCAN fees are paid, my music's all registered, if blah blah blah. And then I see this band making more money than me, singing not one original song, don't pay nothing,
It's
and then
super
leave.
discouraging, man.
And he's at the next place doing it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
how do these guys are actually stealing music?
Yes.
I'm playing the music that I bought from these guys. You know what I'm sitting there in my head? I don't know. It's something about entertainment I don't understand, but teacher, maybe I'm just jealous. Let's get over that. Anyway,
Oh, we're all a little jealous.
Yeah, we are a little jealous.
Yeah.
that's the more I've been doing podcasts, the more I've noticed I'm a little bit angry and jealous all the time. I don't know. This is where I get my therapy. So I take it that you guys are independent. Are you guys still open? Yeah. Are you guys going to stay independent or open to being signed at one time?
We've always talked about that. Like if a record label were to approach us and we align, I guess, really well with the record label, or basically it's just like a really good deal for us,
of course,
we would totally be down for it. But at the moment, it's like, I guess it's probably one of those things, like we don't have a big enough name that record labels aren't necessarily approaching us. But the independent thing kind of works nowadays, right? Like there's so many artists that are doing it on their own and they're like doing really well. Mm-hmm. So
now, because you were saying that, and this is what bugs me about the record labels. It's, you said we're not known enough. I hate the fact to see you guys blow up and then being approach. It's like, what's the point now?
Yes.
There's gonna be
exactly.
There's gonna be that up the hill, and you're gonna be like, I'm already up here technically. Get out of here. I don't need you anymore. You know, and that's where I find people that are discovering people got a lot lazier. They're like, let him do all the work. Let him get a million hits on YouTube, and let him get all this. You know what I mean? And that's when I find I'm like, it's too late now. Yeah. And that's where the independent guys have the advantage of saying, maybe you should have caught me last year, but this one whole year of working extra and moving up it's probably not needed, which is kind of cool. You know what I mean? So, and bands are always entertaining, and bands will always perform. So you guys can always have an income, and then you know how it is. Merch is next on tours, a little tour. You know what I mean? It works out. That money's all yours. It's not going to be the record labels. But yeah, I get it. If there's a good deal, obviously take it. But I mean, if you're going to work all your ass off for a few years and get to a certain point, then screw them, right? Fuck that.
And that's the thing too. And I was thinking the same thing. Like in the beginning, like, we were putting in a lot of work, and I would even message record labels and be like, hey, here's a song or two. Like, what do you think?
Absolutely.
And they're so busy. Like they have so many people sending them their music that it's come to the point where the record labels can be lazy, because they're like, well, there's so many people trying to get famous and trying to make good music that they don't even have to go out of their way to promote that band anymore. The bands are doing it themselves. It's almost like the workforce. Like you can't go out of high school anymore and get a job. You got to go get a degree or a diploma. And even that's like not good enough anymore. Now you need a master's. So it's like, why would they pay for your training when I could pay university $20,000 or whatever a year and pay for my own training, right? Like that's the way of the future, I guess. Kind of sad, but
that's terrible.
Yep.
So each of y'all got a different story individually on what's the biggest struggle in being in the band. So I would love to hear that. Let's start with you, Adam.
The biggest struggle about being in a band?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Honestly, it would probably be kind of what we talked about earlier, keeping everybody on the same page all the time. Mm-hmm. Because nowadays, like everybody has to have, we all have our side jobs, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm in school, in university. I'm going to be a teacher. So as I'm in school all day, keeping myself busy, then I have to put in more work afterwards, right? But I love doing this. This is my passion, so I don't mind doing it. Pedro's an engineer by day. Like he had to go to school for what, 4 or 5 years to get to where he is.
Yeah.
And you know, you do that, and you're an engineer, and you work all day, and then at the end of the day, like, you know, it's like, okay, now I got to go back on another computer after being on a computer all day.
Yeah.
Right. And then, and Eric too, like Eric's a real estate agent. So it's like, he's busy doing his job during the day. And it is really hard. It's very easy to, focus on the job that makes you money. You know what I mean? Like the one that's guaranteed to make you money versus, music is like, it's like the lottery, but you can put in work to maybe get somewhere with it.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So it's that's the hardest part for me, is like just keeping on track, because it's a passion project. It's not something that's a guaranteed payoff, right? So
True.
Yeah.
You know, Eric, what do you think? What's your biggest struggle?
Recording. I think with us, recording is the biggest struggle is definitely recording, because sometimes we're under practiced, and you know, then we'll send a track off, you know, across the damn country to get mixed, and then he'll sit there and say, you probably should have practiced more, which means shit, redo it.
Right.
And
Eric, did you know deep down that you needed to practice more before you sent it out?
Listen, I use a drum. For now, we use a drum program, because we can't find any studio that has any competence around here. And I say, and listen, and these guys can be super butthurt about it if any of them hear it, but it's true. It's 100% true. Like, why would I go out and pay someone for mediocre sounds when I can go buy samples on the internet that sound just, and I'm good enough at making a MIDI drum that it sounds like, you listen to Mirage. Does Mirage sound like a real drum kit?
It actually does.
It's not.
No. I mean, it sounds like,
it's
not.
I pieced it together. So
no.
Like, record.
This guy says half of it's on GarageBand. This one says it's not a real drum. What are you guys doing over here?
That's
real Frankenstein. It's Frankenstein.
New band stuff.
Between practicing, having the gear, getting everyone together, that's why getting a grant from the government of New Brunswick basically gives us an excuse to get together. Oh, sorry, sweetie, you look after the kids, put the kids to bed. I gotta do my thing. Like, we're getting paid to do it. So and now, like, so even with COVID restrictions, it makes it so much harder. But now that the government's willing to invest some money into us, that right there, I hope that starts to make it easier. I guess is my closing. Yeah.
And how about you, Brody?
I think the biggest thing for us, like, it is still more of a positive than a negative, but we have so much material backlog. Like Eric had mentioned earlier, we've got 20 or 22 more something like that in the bag, like just sitting there that we're waiting to get out there. And like Eric just mentioned, we did get that grant for $3,900 from the government of New Brunswick, which will help us put out an album. But again, still another 10 songs on top of that, 10 songs on top of that people still aren't going to get to hear except for live shows until then. So I think that's the big shame, is how much we really have to offer, and we just have to put in that work to get it all out there.
Yeah.
I dig it. Pedro, talk to me, brother.
Are they all wrong? Is there a bigger?
No, they're not wrong. But funny enough, they haven't talked on something that, like, for me, it's always number one, and it's like the songwriting procedure, right? The songwriting element in the band, and we should probably answer Alex's question first. Alex's question is there primary songwriting in the band, or do you guys work together to come up with the new tracks?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, me and Adam, we met, a long time ago. So, like, historically, we've been, the co-founders of the band. So, a lot of songs, Adam and myself wrote, but now with Eric and Brody on board, right? Like, we do come up with like new stuff when we jam together,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. So, I mean, now it's just working together, and that's what I was gonna say. Just like the democratic process of agreeing to what where do you want the song to go, right? Because I mean,
Right.
we all have good ideas, we all have different musical backgrounds too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's I mean, it's not easy, but I think we all have the personality. You need to have that personality, right? You need
Right.
to be able to uh, let go at some point of your ego and say, you know what,
Very
man,
true.
like, sure, that's fine, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I,
That's true.
Well, you gotta have room to
like if
compromise.
you know, obviously not every song needs a solo, right? Or like
Mm.
a 5 minute breakdown.
Yeah.
Led
So-
Zeppelin, 10-minute
Yeah,
song.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
Everyone's
not
getting
at
their
that
solo
level
in.
yet. We're not at that level yet. People won't enjoy to hear us go on for 5 minutes, right?
Big.
yeah.
Right.
And I'll admit, I love solo and love jamming, just improvising, right? That's why I got into music, into the instrument, right? After like seeing like Jimi Hendrix, play for like 10 minutes straight. It's like, what Adam, Eric, and Brody would describe as a guitar coma or a solo coma.
Solo coma. Yeah.
Right? But bands like the Red Hot Chili Peppers do a lot, and like it's yeah. I mean, just like yeah, it's a democratic process. That's
Yeah, I
that's the
agree.
way we can put it.
Yeah.
I love it. 4 people, 4 different, reasonings on what's. It's cool though because it's
well,
true.
that's
Everyone
good.
has a different aspect of
Yeah.
what's the hardest for them, right? So, on a positive note, let's say if you could open up for anybody, what band would you guys open up for? So we'll start with you, Pedro.
I would love to open for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That'd be my dream.
That'd be
That'd
dope. You, Brody?
be-
I think for me, it'd be Guns N' Roses. That'd be pretty epic.
That'd be awesome. Eric, what about yourself, man?
It all depends because I'm into cheesy pop punk stuff. So like, I'd like to, hands down, I think Travis Barker is the greatest drummer of all time.
Yeah.
And I'd be like a little 13-year-old schoolgirl if I could ever share the stage, play on the same stage as him in the exact same night.
That'd
I
be
think-
dope. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be it.
Adam, what about yourself, man?
Yeah, for me, there's so many that I would love to. But for me, and I mean, it'll never happen because they're not really a band anymore, but I'm a big In Excess fan. So it would have been awesome to open up for them. That would be really cool. But obviously, Michael Hutchins passed away. So, yeah.
Still cool, man. Still cool.
Crazy.
Yeah.
If there was anything you could change about the industry, what would it be? Brody, let's get you started, brother.
Oh, good question.
Why'd you give me
man.
that question first?
If I could change anything about the industry, to be honest, man, I just think there needs to be more funding for it. Really, there needs to be more opportunities out there. So like I said, especially with COVID going on, there needs to be more live streams like this, doing shows. If we can't get out there, just anything to actually to bring it in there, bring something to the bank.
Yeah.
Okay. Eric.
Personally, I think what the biggest problem is there's too much. The industry is oversaturated with music.
Yeah, I agree.
So I honestly think if there were more regulations in place, like I don't like it how I could pop up GarageBand right now and have a series of bowel movements and record those, put them, maybe say a couple words in between movements, and I could put it on Spotify to make money.
Ben, didn't I not say this a few weeks ago?
Yes, you did. He did.
you.
He did.
Thank
He
you.
went
I
on a
appreciate
he went on a major rant.
I went on my
about
own
some
rant
shit
about
like
this.
that.
See,
He went on a
we're
big
on the
rant.
same page, man, and it's ridiculous because now you have, like, just as well as I do, the stupidest stuff goes viral. We could pour our heart and our soul into a song
kills
that
me.
is legit, and then here comes William fucking Hung singing about whatever he was singing about, and he gets more
Again, a
more-
cover band, for fuck's sake. He's
yeah,
a cover
a cover band that so. I think that's the biggest problem. And if there was some sort of regulation, I think that
I had a regulation. I figured it out.
Oh, what is it? What is it?
So wait.
Here we go. Bam,
No. Just a side question. Just a side question to that. So, who's the worst? The people who actually listens to this shit? You get what I'm saying? Or the people who's creating this shit? You see what I'm saying?
The people that listen to it.
Okay.
They're the ones to blame.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, like, because we were just talking about GarageBand, record whatever, garbage, upload it within the same hour, for instance.
Yep.
I always thought that these major streaming platforms should have some sort of resume built into, like, a band.
Yes.
How many hours of performances? How many tracks have you done? There should be, like, even if you sucked, there's got to be some work put into it before you get passed through it. Not me making see what kind of joke and then saturate it with garbage and then no one gives a shit. Because if I knew they said new music that came out, I would think there'd be a process of, you know what, I'll give these new guys a chance. It's not some new guy that just popped up on my phone today. There's a channel that he went through. So it's like a job interview. You know, you need a build a bit of a resume to get at least to the streaming platform. That's what I would have thought. Or maybe it starts off on YouTube and you get enough views on YouTube and you've done enough shows and enough songs. Then you can use, Spotify and Amazon Music and all that. I thought that's how it should work. Not just have any bozo put up any type of music and move
You're
on.
right. They're just those companies are the distributors are just too money hungry. They're
That's right.
way too
That's
money
right.
hungry.
That's right. Sorry, Bam.
I know. It's fine. It's fine. I slightly disagree because I don't like the gatekeepers. I never think they should have been there in the first place. You know what I mean? They were so fucked up that they made it this way.
But I think you're talking about a whole other extreme, though.
Well, yeah, for what you're saying is, you should have to go through certain things to get to a certain point. So that's a gatekeeper. Somebody's sitting there at the gate. You get what I'm saying? But the people
I get what you're saying, yeah.
They've been there so long and been fucking up the program so bad that people sat there and said, you know what? How do I figure out to get around this asshole? And that's what they did. And that's why we in the place where we at right now.
I see exactly where you're coming
you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I agree with you. It should be some sort of standard and quality in the music. That's the problem. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, shit, there's some songs out there I can't fucking stand. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? I think it's the worst song fucking ever. You know what I mean?
What does the Fox say, Bamboo? What does the Fox say?
Oh, don't get me started, man. Don't get me started.
I got a story about this. So I was DJing a wedding, and the lady says, I've never heard this song before. So I download it, and I look over to my buddy. I'm like, this song's fucking shit. She's like, I'll play it. I'm like, fuck. But it's because her last name is Fox, right? So she thinks it's funny. And I'm like, but I didn't know her last name was Fox. So I had to drop it. I was like, and I'm trying to be like, people must have seen my facial expression. I was like, what the fuck is this? But that's a perfect example. Perfect example, though. So
moving on to you, Adam. Tell me, what would you change?
Well, it's funny because looking at honestly, this is probably the hardest question to ask for me, just because I guess I don't know enough about the industry to make a real educated this is what needs to change. But I mean, from what I've been reading and I guess things that a lot of other bands have experienced is that apparently it used to be in the old days, what you would think would be the opposite is that the music industry was run by older people. Mm. They had the money, so they were running things. But they didn't know what young people liked. So they were willing to take risks on newer bands, newer sounds. They kind of said hey, if that's what the kids like, let them listen to it. But from what I've heard is nowadays is it's run by a lot younger people, and I guess they think they know what people want to hear. Mm-hmm. So maybe they're investing too much money in music that maybe isn't that great. And I'm not saying we're great, but I guess what I'm saying is take risks on things that are outside of what's the most popular, because it could be the next big thing, right? Mm-hmm. I think right now you're seeing a lot of if I turn on the local radio station that plays top 40 music, you could have 3 artists in a row that sound the exact same. Yep. And it's okay, I'm going to turn back to classic rock because to me, they all sounded different.
That's right.
Or at least the ones that were any good. Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing is trying to find new things, because if you promote it properly, you can make anything sell.
True.
And I think they're just promoting the stuff that is already doing well, instead of like promoting something that has the potential to do well. So that's a long way of saying take more risks, try new stuff, or I don't know.
Yep.
No.
No, I agree with that too.
What would you change, brother?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a combination of everything. You know what, Brody, Eric, and Adam have
The whole thing needs to be overhauled, is what he's saying.
It's
Top to
I
bottom.
mean, it's just, you know, like it's you have like the industry, you know, putting their money on these new genres and like overproduced music, and then you have social media, right? Like through ads, and you're just putting this stuff right on people's face all the time, 24/7, right? Like ads, radio,
Yeah.
and it's not about how talented you are anymore. It's about who you know and what you're willing to do to get there, right?
True.
That's a sad part with music, right?
Yeah.
Right.
No, I get it. Man.
And that's why
Nowadays.
backstage before we got on, I was saying I wanted to get deep into the DJ, the history of the DJ, because the DJ used to be the gatekeeper.
That's right.
You understand? You made your record, you brought it to the DJ. He'll tell you if it sucks or not. You get what I'm saying? You don't get on, you know. And it got to the point where the record labels bypassed him. You get what I'm saying? So it was. The guy came to me, yo, the song is not good. Go back, practice, get better, come back and see me. Went to a label, got signed. They put him on the radio for 3 weeks straight. Now everybody in the club screaming at me, play that song. He sucked 3 weeks ago. He still sucked. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's what happened. You know what I mean? Like the DJ used to be the breakout guy. He used to be like, oh, this is new. This is hot. Let's put this on. You know, so everything changed, man. Everything changed. The whole game changed. Like, it's nuts. But, you know, damn record labels.
Yeah. Actually, I have one more thing I'd like to add to that question is I find a lot of it now is like the rich get richer. And I'm sure you know what I mean by that. Like, so on Spotify, for example, there was a huge thing going on about basically they're only paying what 0.0001 cents per play.
I had a podcast. I brought up a chart.
Oh, we live it. We live it. It sucks.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like I kid you not. If I could, I don't have it on me right now.
Something to do with 1 million streams is like $3,500 or something stupid like that. Yeah.
So that works when you're Kanye West. Like you know, people are listening to your music like millions of times, right? You get good money, but like for us, it's like we're the starving artist, big time. And it was like. You know, like when, I don't know, like I'm going to use SpongeBob as an example, like Mr. Krabs put up on the wall, like me first dollar, right? Like for us, we got sent in the mail from, I think it was from SoCan. So they like basically, I don't know if you know what SoCan is. I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
They sent us like, it was like a slip, it was like a certificate. And it wasn't even $1. Like we didn't even make our first $1, and it was like,
God.
It was like, why did they even bother printing it? The paper cost more than the money we made from the song. Like
75 cents or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Wow. It was like, literally, I made a video about it. I was like, are you joking me?
Wow. Because that was my big argument about, I was like, when we first started the podcast, I was like, yeah, independent. But again, I wasn't in the music industry like you guys looking at stats. And then when I'm there, I started looking at stats and I was like, fuck independent. What is this? They said that the record label used to rob people, and I still find that you guys are still getting robbed anyways. Like, it's just a different form now. It's just you can put it up.
Damn if you don't.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
The record label said, I'm tired of being yelled
I
at.
don't know.
You know what? Here, do it this way. But who you think owns Spotify and all these
see,
places?
like
the record label.
I have Spotify and Amazon Music. I got them both. And what I do now is everyone that's been on our show, I grab their music and I put it on an independent list. Where I'll listen to it pretty much every day, because some people need to start supporting each other because this is ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Man.
I don't get it. Yep. There's too much good stuff out there that no one's listening to, and it's driving me nuts, right? So even when I go,
you know what, Joe? We should do a Shooting the Shit podcast playlist and get everybody to subscribe to that.
It'd be
You know
good.
what I mean?
Yeah,
They
and get everyone.
list
No,
that playlist,
I
you know
get
what
it,
mean?
man. Because there's some great
That-
stuff out there that we're just like, holy shit, as if. And I'll YouTube. I'll send everyone a link of everything. You know, share those Spotify. I'm like, yo, listen to this, man. This is good. You know, and anyone knows I don't waste anybody's time. If I'm sending you something, take a listen. I'm not just sending, you know, some fucking William Hung shit. You know what I mean? So we're good to go. So
William Hung, yes, man.
fucking
It's a
guy.
shame he got famous.
It's so true. So we have 10 random questions to ask you guys just to get to know you guys a little bit better. Bam, I'll get you to start, man.
Okay. Ooh. Favorite band?
All right. So for me, it's In Excess, because that's what I
Okay.
want to open for. But
Yep.
it's so close between In Excess and Led Zeppelin. It's like that. It's such a tough question because they're very different sounding bands, and they were at totally different like kind of time periods. But I would almost have to side with In Excess, and I know so many people would hate me for saying that. But hey, music is subjective. But I love Led Zeppelin too. Like they're up there.
That's dope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eric.
See, it is a toss up between Blink 182 and Nirvana, and because they kind of both have the similar story. Dave Grohl, I'm going to quote Dave Grohl. He says, "If you got a kicking drummer, you got a kicking band," and both of those bands were nothing and nobodies until Dave joined it, and until Travis joined the band. Once they had adequate drummers, all their careers took off. So I'm a firm believer in you know, having a good drummer in a band. Even if I decided to play guitar, you still can't have someone that does a 4 on the floor beat. So it's not going to sound the same. All your songs are going to end up sounding the same. You might as well call yourself AC/DC. So,
For real.
man, a 4 on the floor, it kills you. You may make it doing a 4 on the floor, but it's going to kill you too.
Yeah.
So I'd say between Nirvana and Blink 182,
Like
just because their drummers are all-time greats, right?
Right. Brody.
I've got to go with Guns N' Roses, like I said,
Love
for
it.
who I'd want to open.
Yeah.
Just the epitome of rock and roll, man. Slash, I'm sure has gotten tons of kids over the years to pick up the axe, start playing guitar and shred. Tons of inspiration out there, and you know, contrary to popular belief, rock and roll isn't dead. Far from it.
Right. That's right. Because I'm a new fan these days. You know?
Yeah.
I grew up in the ghetto. Now I'm down. I don't know all the bands yet. He keep questioning me, but I'm gonna get it.
I got a story after Pedro.
Pedro.
Yeah, for me, it's the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah,
Red Hot Chili
hands down. Yeah, the energy that they bring on stage. You know, like it's the way they move around, the way they jump. Like, right? It's just amazing.
Guys,
Yeah.
I've enjoyed a beer to every band you've mentioned. So
on.
no bad
Yeah.
picks here, man. So I don't know if you guys have ever been to Cuba, but in Cuba they had a bar called the Beatles Bar. All right.
Okay.
And it's just, and I swear to God, you Google it, it looks like a little shack. That's what it looks like. It looks like a little shack, and you're like, and people were talking to people on the resort, and they're like, you got to get there early. I'm like, well, fuck yeah, it's a shack. It fits 30 people, right? We get there. It's not even in the shack. It's an outdoor performance, and they have the best cover band. They play all the best like actual rock and roll music because you know everyone around the world's coming there, right? So every song that comes up, I look at Bam, and I'm like, who sings this? And he's getting mad. He's like, shut up! I don't know. Next
I do
song-
that to my girlfriend all the
See?
time.
so he gets up and Journey plays. I Don't Stop Believing, and he finally gets up and he's like, Journey, and he goes and runs. He goes to the bathroom. And
That's the only one I knew.
I didn't even ask him that time. That was the best part. But
Honestly, and the singer for Journey, I always forget his name, but to me, he probably has the best voice I've ever heard, and that's just me saying that.
yeah,
But the original singer for Journey, or I think he was the original singer. He oh my God, incredible.
Cool. We're gonna go in the same direction. We're gonna still go with Adam, Eric, Brody, and Pedro. Hardest working band member. Go ahead, Adam.
Oh, this is a tough one. So I would go as far as saying it's probably Eric.
Eric's like, damn right.
But it's between Eric and I, because like here's the thing. So I'm usually consistently putting in like a decent effort. But like Eric will like stay up until like 4 a.m. doing stuff.
Sounds like me.
and he'll and he'll listen to, like, when we get a mix back, he'll listen to it over and over and over and over again, and he'll be messaging me at like 2 a.m. and obviously I'm not going to read his messages because I'm asleep. But this guy, like, he stays
That's
up
dope.
late, right? So
Yeah.
he's probably the guy.
Yeah. Eric, you agree with him? I take it.
Yeah, oh yeah, you damn straight. You got to give credit where credit's due. That's how I was raised. And if the credit's on me, I got to give it. I got to.
Brody, Pedro, is this true or is it you guys?
I don't know. I'd say Eric definitely
Yeah.
puts a lot of work in, especially when it comes to the recording aspect. I
Yeah.
can't take anything away from Adam. He's very good at contacting, getting us podcasts. Getting
Yeah,
us
man.
interviews like this.
Adam was always on the ball for that, for sure. Always.
And just, contacting radio stations and stuff like that. I'm still new to the band, so I'm still trying to ease my way in and see where I can pitch in best. But
just bring the beer, bro. You be the man.
Yeah.
Bring the beer, man.
Bring the beer. You the man.
Pedro, you agree with them? Yeah.
I agree, and I also agree. Adam, number 2, second.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah, it's
To
not
be
like
honest
I'm the
with
one
you-
doing everything. Everyone else does some stuff too, right?
No, I
Yeah.
get it, man. I get
Yeah.
it. I get it.
But,
There's some of us, I don't know. I don't know if you're the same way as I am, Eric. Sometimes the shit needs to be done tonight.
But
Before I go to
Dig, that's right. And I
Yeah.
don't, not to take away from anyone here.
No, I do the same.
but-
I have the same problem.
Yeah, I just feel like I can do it better. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. There's times where I'm like, I should go to bed, but no, I need to get this shit done.
Man, I feel that.
But I have to interrupt you, Eric, because you might be able to do it better, but except for the spelling.
Yeah, man, I can't spell.
Neither
I
can I,
can't.
man.
I'll give you. I
It's the
can't spell.
non-spellers that work the hardest. You didn't know that?
He'll send me stuff sometimes, and I'm like, I don't even know what he's trying to say. I don't even-
Code, man. It's code.
It is code. I can't have the competition finding out what we're doing.
Exactly, man.
Okay, next question. The band member that's always late.
Brody. Just for now, just because he hasn't been in long enough, and there's some days where he sleeps until 4 p.m. noon. So
Yeah.
that can happen occasionally.
Don't worry, man. We go on vacation. You can bunk with Bam because he's late all the time too. Don't worry about it.
I get up, they have breakfast.
But you know what,
and
Brody?
shit.
You weren't the last one on today, and they picked
That's
you.
right.
Hey,
Pedro,
I
Brody's
thought
beating you.
it was me.
Brody's beating you at this, man. All right, man.
done time, brothers.
All right, your favorite TV show of all times?
Oh man, yeah. See, these are the tough questions because I hate having to choose. But you know what? Rick and Morty is killer right now.
It's up
They're
there.
killing it. And you know what's really close because it's literally Rick and Morty, but they're pushing the envelope a little bit more. Is Solar Opposites.
Opposites.
Oh
I
yeah.
haven't seen
That's a
that
good
yet.
show.
Yeah, you got to watch it. They take Rick and Morty and they take off any filters, basically. It's
Really?
awesome.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. Eric, what about you, man?
I'm a firm believer in liking the originators of things,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the Trailer Park Boys have it hand down because if it wasn't for the Trailer Park Boys, you wouldn't have shows like Community, Modern Family, any other mockumentaries because Trailer Park Boys was the very first mockumentary on
I'm not gonna
TV.
li- You're right. I
So-
watched Trailer Park Boys for the first time. I said, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever watched." Ever. I was like, "Who the fuck made this?" And then a couple episodes later, who's still watching Trailer Park Boys? This guy.
Yeah.
I stopped laughing after. You know what I mean?
But it's so true.
made me
It's
eat my
so
words.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's dumb. You can't deny how dumb it is. Yeah, it's for sure.
Brody, what about you, my man?
I had to go with the good old faithful Family Guy.
Oh yeah.
Never
Oh, yeah.
failed.
For sure. Pedro, what you?
Giggity.
I don't watch much TV, but I would say The Simpsons probably.
Oh, dude,
That's a good show.
for sure, man, for sure. How many seasons are there? Like 26, 9?
30,
Too
I
many.
thought.
Oh,
Too many.
Yeah.
God, what a success that is!
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gentlemen, the people want to know what was your first job ever? Adam.
Tim Hortons.
Timmy's.
You're not a Canadian unless you've worked at Tim Hortons. Yeah, Timmy's.
Eric?
I was a paper boy in grade 6.
Oh man, this
Paper
paper
boy.
will start
Getting up
early.
at 4 or 5 in the morning in grade 6. Imagine that.
No,
No, it sucked. It sucked.
something I don't want to imagine.
Brody.
It was at a dog food and dog treat making plant. As a
Oh,
labor.
bad for
It was pretty nasty, not gonna
Yep.
lie.
So
You gotta
are we,
start somewhere.
are we killing our dogs? Is that what you're telling us? What's in that stuff?
More
man?
than likely.
He's like, that's a whole other podcast, man.
What should I be buying? I don't like my dog. What should I be buying? I don't like my dog. Pedro, what was your first job ever, brother?
My first job ever was as a translator in university.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Look at that.
Political science department for 4 months, and I don't think I did a really good job, to be honest with you.
He may have gotten a few people fired.
Say this.
And yeah, it was like a part-time job. I got like only $500 doing those 4 months, so
Yes, sir.
it was some experience.
Yeah, man. Me and Bam, we were both the fast food guys. I was at McDonald's. He was at BK.
There you go.
Yeah.
Burger buddies.
Don't get me wrong, man. The 50% food off your food at the age of 16 was the best. You know.
Oh,
at the time,
yeah.
man. Yeah, it was awesome, man. So, guys, name me one thing that's on your bucket list. Something you have to do.
Oh, I got to travel. I got to go see the world, man. That's the bucket list.
Yeah. Have you been anywhere yet?
I've been like a lot of North America, not all of it, but like Canada and the States. I've driven across country, and I've been to Mexico and Jamaica. But that's, you know what? That's not the world. I want to see. I want to see Europe. I want to see South America.
Absolutely.
I want to see Asia. I want to see Africa. I want to see it all. So
Yeah.
hopefully the band does well.
I was just gonna tell you that. Yeah, exactly, man.
Dig it.
Okay. Eric, yourself, man.
I want to see. I want to see the Knicks win a damn championship. Is what I want to see.
Okay, that's never
Ooh,
gonna
you
happen.
asking for
Your
a
bucket
miracle.
list before you die. Something has to happen.
No,
the Knicks ain't gonna do that.
Seriously, to be perfectly honest, I'd love to go travel Europe. I'm a big history buff.
Yeah.
I'd like to go travel. I always read about them. Like go to the Ardennes Forest and kind of travel around and go, and obviously not go in the places where I can't go, but I'd like to see places where there's still so many explosives on the ground that if you cross this line, you're probably gonna not make it back to Canada. I'd love to see those places.
Okay.
I'd love to go to the places where my grandfather went overseas and kind of revisit. You know what I
That'd
mean?
be cool. Yeah.
And that'd be pretty cool.
Brody, man, what about you?
No, it's a copycat, but yeah, travel, man. And there's so much to see out there, especially being stuck on the beautiful East Coast. It is nice out here, but I've been to Quebec and Ontario and a couple places, northern states, but there's so much out there.
Oh, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Once you get on that plane, you start seeing stuff. You just want to do more and more and more. It's just that's just the bug for sure. Pedro, what about yourself, man?
For me, well, I really, well, I just want this pandemic to be over. Hopefully visit Angel Falls in Venezuela, where I'm from. I lived in the country for 17 years. I've never been, and it's something that definitely have to go see. So, but yeah, things need to get better in my country first, and then hopefully I can
That's right.
go visit and hopefully go with my family.
That's cool, man.
That's
I like
my
that,
goal.
guys.
Cool. Besides music, what are the hobbies you got?
I like being outdoors. I like going hiking. I like keeping physically fit, going to the gym. I do a ton of stuff: video games, snowboarding, biking, you name it. Music is the passion, but I have so many different things that I like to do. I keep myself busy.
Gotcha. Eric?
I like to play basketball. I love basketball. I played. I'm a big believer. If my grades would have been a lot better, I definitely could have went to the NCAA. But my grades were so low because I didn't give a shit. It's not that I was stupid.
That's me in football, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and it's not that you probably weren't stupid. You probably just didn't apply yourself. Like,
That's a debate.
but I mean, I skipped history to go play gym and with my friends, and the teachers allowed it. And that was just one of those things. But yeah.
All right, Brody.
Played baseball growing up. Like watching sports and playing video games, chilling with friends and family.
Nice.
All that low key stuff.
Yeah. Stay out of trouble stuff, right, Brody? Right?
Yeah.
Pedro?
I love working out. I love going to the gym. Started doing CrossFit today, actually. So
Yeah.
yeah,
How's that as a change?
good, good. I think
Yeah.
you're interested in more cardio stuff. Like
That's right.
it's very, it gets you moving a lot, and like the atmosphere there, everyone's very friendly and stuff. Like everyone's cheer you up and stuff, and like introduce himself. Like, oh, this is your first class. It's me, and all that.
Nice.
So some people make fun of it because it's some type of they see it as a cult almost. So it's like, oh man, like you're gonna start doing CrossFit and stuff. Like, be careful, right? Because
It's like you're in Scientology or something.
Oh my God, they got him.
but yeah, no, it's a very friendly environment, I have to say, and it's a nice change from the gym.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, guys. So, guys, we talked about your favorite show, TV show. Now I want to know your favorite movie. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah. So again, I hate having to choose these movies, but I love World War II movies. So I'm big into like Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, buddy.
And actually one of my favorite movies would have to be Full Metal Jacket.
Oh,
It's just
buddy.
it like I like movies that show like the real nitty gritty of like what the war was like, and obviously I don't know what it's like, but just showing all the crap that they had to go through.
Yep.
That's what I like seeing, and it's like, count your blessings, people. Like at least that's not happening right now.
True.
Have you
Let's hope it doesn't.
have you seen the Band of Brothers yet?
Yes, love it.
Oh man, crazy. Eric.
More or less what Adam said, but aside from that, I'm a comedy guy. One of the all-time greatest comedies is Superbad. That's like
For
that's
real,
one I
yeah.
go to.
Yeah. Definitely like that, man. Brody, favorite movie, man?
I gotta go with The Shining, classic
Ooh.
Stephen King novel.
Yes, sir.
Thriller and a little spooky, messed up on a lot of fun stuff.
For sure.
I wouldn't be able to watch that. 28 years old and I'm still scared.
Pedro run off too.
Pedro?
You there, Pedro? He probably had to go
He's gonna
tinkle.
come up. There's a bunch of stuff though. If he's on his phone and the phone rings or something happens, usually that will happen too, right? So.
All right. Well,
There he is.
Sorry.
No worries, my man. No
We've
worries.
been talking for too long. I had to run to the washroom.
So give me your favorite movie of all time, brother.
My favorite movie is actually it's a recent movie. Actually, it's a when you think about it, it's a very low budget movie and everything, but the acting to me, it's fucking amazing. It's Ex Machina with I don't know the names of the actors, right?
I'm the worst when it comes to actors. I don't know any.
Ex Machina. Yeah.
There's
Super
only
good.
like 3 actors in the whole movie: Ex Machina or Ex Machina, and for me, I mean, my favorite scene in that movie, it's. Have you guys watched it? Do you know what it's about? Or
No.
No, not a clue.
You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. Yeah, it's good.
Oh, okay. And I don't want to
Where could we find this? Is it on Netflix?
Anywhere.
Or?
I think it
is
should be on Netflix.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
All right.
It's a sick movie. It's just like the acting from, I guess from there's like a boss, like a corporate boss, basically, and he invites one of his employees to his house because he's actually working on a very, proprietary project on AI and whatnot. And one of his employees, he wins this trip to go work with him. He actually lives in a mansion in the middle of nowhere. And the reason why he lived in the middle of nowhere is because, there's like hundreds of servers in that private house. And like, there's a bunch of like computer shit and like whatnot. Anyhow, the acting from the main guy, from the boss, it's amazing. Like he acts with so much confidence. Like, and anyhow, there's like this one dancing scene where the employee gets mad at him, at the boss, and he's like, "Just chill, dude." Like, and he starts dancing with this other person, right? And it's just, to me, that scene, it's fucking like, wow, like it's amazing.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, check that out too.
All right, guys. Favorite food?
Me, it's got to be steak. It's got to be a good
How you
steak.
cooking it? How you cooking it?
Oh, so I actually stumbled upon this new recipe, and I'll tell you, it is the best steak you'll ever have. You got to cook it on a pan on the stove. Okay, barbecue? No,
See,
don't do the barbecue.
Eric, see, I thought the same as you. I was just like,
once you do it, you'll never go back. So you got to dry your steak by putting some salt on it. Not way too much. You don't want a salty steak, but you got to salt it and let it sit. It pulls the moisture from the surface of the steak, right? And then you pat it dry and put it on your pan, like a hot pan. No oil, no butter, nothing. Put it on dry. It's not going to stick. I promise.
So what do you?
Stick.
So should I? Why don't I just take the meat and just bring it out over the sink first?
I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll make you one, and you'll be like, "Holy crap, Adam! Where have you been all my life?" Okay. So anyway, so once it's cooked on this one side,
yeah.
Okay, you flip it, and then you put in like a lot of butter. So it's not good for you, but you put in a lot of butter.
Yeah.
You put fresh sage, fresh rosemary, garlic, and shallots. And you keep basting it over top of the steak, and I'm telling you, it melts in your mouth, and it's so good. That's like a Chef Ramsay steak. You got to try it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eric?
This is what he said, but a steak. And if you eat steak other than blue rare, you're doing it wrong. 14 to 30 seconds on each side. That's it. That's all you need. You basically, you can use Adam's prepping it with all this shit. All you need is a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of barbecue sauce.
Are you doing this on the barbecue? Of course.
Of course.
Okay, just checking.
Has to be on the barbecue.
Oh, technical difficulties.
Brody.
And that's.
Oh, okay. Brody.
Being through East Coast, you definitely gotta love the seafood, man. Anything from lobster to shrimp, scallop, all that fun shit, man.
Yeah, Bam. When I went and visit Bam, that's what they fed me. Him and his wife, the lobster. It was great.
Well, I mean,
so I opened that shit properly and stuff.
Her dad owns the fucking the fishery. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we woke up the lobster in a cooler. It was fantastic. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Get delivered to the house. Well,
right from the source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I go down to the boat and get it myself. Fuck it. You know?
Yeah.
They might call the police once in a while, but it's okay. There's a black guy on your boat. Oh, yeah, that's my son-in-law. Don't worry about him. Let him give her. You know, the shit. You know, Pedro.
I eat a lot of fish. I love salmon. I really like salmon, to be honest. Fish, tuna. Yeah, like I would say like the Japanese food, sushi rolls and stuff like that.
Oh, I know. I discovered that.
Okay. Okay, real quick side note here, because all you guys are East Coast. Okay, so Joe, watch their face when I ask them this. Have y'all ever ate monkfish yet?
What?
No,
monkfish. Have you seen a monkfish?
I've seen it in the store. Oh yeah, you walk the other direction real fast.
This is one ugly motherfucking fish. Okay. Monkfish is like somebody beat it with a stick and ran over it. Where this motherfucker ugly as hell, but tastes so good. You need to eat this fish. I'm telling you, it's like a fish lobster. It's got that texture like a lobster. Oh my god, it's amazing. It's amazing, bro.
What is it called?
It's really good.
Monkfish.
Okay,
oh my god, look it up. Google it. They look like those lantern fish without the lantern. They're ugly as sin.
Were you starving when they tried this?
Nah, man. The dude was like, I got some monkfish. And good thing I ate the motherfucker before I actually got to see what it looks like.
Oh,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know? It's crazy.
I've never even heard of this. No.
Oh,
this is first for me too, man.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of firsts for me here today. What's going on?
That's an ugly fish.
All right, man. The last questions of 10 random questions, man. Which one would you pick one? Would you rather perform in an outdoor stadium or an indoor arena?
Outdoor stadium. Outdoor stadium all the way.
Outdoor.
Outdoor? Am I the only idiot that wants to perform indoors?
That's right.
I don't like bugs. I like the air conditioner.
Gives up.
I think the sound sounds better. I don't know. It's just me.
Want running water, you know?
Yeah.
You guys are
but
all
I mean, you gotta
outdoor.
look at Woodstock and like Wembley Stadium, like with the whole roof open.
Yeah, that's
and
dirty. Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, I like the outdoors.
we actually played a show in one of the French cities in New Brunswick. And they paid us a pretty good, a pretty handsome sum just for playing because it was the city. And we played. It was the middle of February, cold as hell, and they had the kerosene heaters, and we were outdoors. But it was the funnest show I ever played.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
I've DJ'd outdoors, froze my balls off, and almost died. So I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it one bit. But outdoor, I can see it, man. If nice sunny day, the big ass crowds. I get it. I'll still pick the arena though, but it doesn't matter. Bam, what about you? You outdoor or you indoor, Bam?
I'm indoor, man. You know what I mean?
Bam's
Outdoor.
old now,
Yeah. I ain't got time for that. Just get up there, do my thing, boom, sit somewhere nice and cool, have a couple beers, and chill the fuck out.
We keep it simple, man.
Yeah. All you guys need is sunglasses so the sun doesn't hit your eyes. That's all.
I don't know. I've done too many outdoor events. I don't know. I smell like off because I sprayed all that shit on me. I don't know. That's just my disasters.
It's just terrible. You're up there, you're moving around, you're rapping, boom, boom, boom. You're fucking sweating, and I'm dark, and in the sun, you can see it. You know what I mean? It's glistening all over and shit. It's like, oh, it's horrible. At least on stage, I can hide that shit. You know what I'm saying? Jump into the shadow.
But I mean, when we sweat on stage, it makes us look cool.
Yeah, that's
right?
true. This is true. These are real facts,
I don't like it. I'm fat. I don't like it. I'm fat.
You see, performing and sweating's cool. Me standing and DJing isn't cool, right? I'm just giving you guys the heads up on that, right?
I never thought of that.
When I'm doing this pressing play, I got problems. But guys, I want to let everybody know where they can follow you guys at. So you actually have a website with all your links, right? That's at bodypaintband.com, right?
Yes, it's got everything. Yeah, it's all on there.
I like that. I like how you guys got that one website where you can just find everything. You know what I mean? They can follow you on Instagram at bodypaintband also, right?
Yep.
And Adam, you're the one running that?
I mostly do the social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the social media guy, the PR guy. I send all the emails. I'm the communicator.
That's cool, man. But I want before I want to play your song, Ross, can you guys tell me a bit about this? I know it's a bit of a Frankenstein amazing setup because whatever you guys told me backstage and on here, that's not what I hear in my headphones. Can you guys tell me a bit about that?
Yeah. So Mirage was honestly, I didn't want to record it because it wasn't ready to record, and that's why it took a long time to get to where it was. But yeah, I mean, if you want to hear about I guess the lyric side, it's basically funny enough that the inspiration for some of the lyrics came from a few places. One of them being, I used to have a manager, and he called me into his office one time to have a meeting, and I was like, obviously I'm making a good solid eye contact with the guy, but he had a very narrow nose and his eyes were very close to his nose. And I felt like I felt like he was getting far away from me. It was the weirdest feeling. And I started laughing while I was having a meeting with my boss, and I was trying so hard not to laugh because it was just so weird. He was getting far away. And so that's where it came. Have you ever stared so long that you start to see things? He started looking he started looking like a bird that was getting far. It was the weirdest thing. And I swear I'm not doing drugs or anything. It was an optical illusion. So it came from that, and also just a mixture of basically the idea of having something that you want so badly, but it might not be the best thing for you. But you've had your mind set on it for so long that basically you get this tunnel vision on it, and you start to think of it as being better than what it actually is. It's not really something that's in your best interest.
Right.
So
I like that, man. So you said it took a little longer than you wanted to get the song out.
Yeah, because I didn't think that it was ready to record. We weren't there wasn't enough stuff set in stone because we went through different bass players, and halfway through the recording process actually is when Brody joined. We had a different bass player before, and then the bassist changed, and it was a nightmare. There's another song we have called Nightmare, but yeah, Pedro and I actually, Pedro, how'd you come up with the riff for that one? Just messing around, or?
The main chorus riff, it's been with me for I don't know, 4 or 5 years, and it had been with me for that long before we ever used it. So, and yeah. The intro and the little breakdowns for just guitar playing, that stuff, kind of like a little bit of a technique from John Frusciante. What he uses in songs like Scar Tissue. Mm-hmm. It's that 2-note technique and stuff. That's kind of where I was inspired by. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know, guys. I love the end product. So, like, seeing that you guys, one of you were a little bit doubtful, and then someone was faking on the drums. I mean, sorry, Eric. I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you. No. Like, the end result ended up being really, really good, man. I'm really impressed. And if you guys do anything that's better than this that's coming up, man, I'm super excited to hear it, man. Yeah. You know what I mean, guys? I want to thank you guys for being on the show. It's been a true pleasure.
Thank you.
Don't
Thank
be
you
shy,
to you guys.
man. You guys have any other things coming up? Any new music? Anything, man? Come back on. We'll shoot the shit about music.
That's right.
We had enough about you this time. We can talk about the history of music. We can go back and forth. You know what I mean? We can teach
thank
Bam.
you for being my first band.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. We're honored.
Band.
We're honored to be the first
It's
band.
true. I know. I hollered at him. I was like, bro, I got a band. And at first he thought I was pulling his leg. I was like, no, man, I really got one. So we got really excited for that, man.
That's awesome, man.
You know what? For us, it's like to have 4 guys involved was going to be a little bit. Because usually it's more of a two tag teaming one person, right? But you know, the shared, you know what I mean? To share it around was a little bit. I thought it was going to be challenging, but you guys made it super easy on us. So I appreciate that, man.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
Everybody crazy. You know?
I was just gonna say, shout out to Alex Abarca because he's rocking the comments and
absolutely, man.
Talking us a lot. So I hope he follows us on Instagram.
100%, man.
And, he seems like a
we have your links attached to this. We have your website and your Instagram link attached to all these videos. So if you guys are looking, just look down at the comments and boom, it's right there. All right, guys.
Awesome.
Thanks for shooting this shit with us, man. We're gonna play your song "Mirage" by Body Paint. Peace, guys.
Yeah.
Later, man.
Bye.
Thank you.
How can a look feel so good? I walk through the desert, praying that I'll make it out alive. Crawling out of hallucination. I only hope I survive. I don't need no water, no wine. I just need your love and I'll be fine in the mirage of my mind. Have you ever stayed so long that you start to see things? Your deep desires, they lay before you. You may be horrified by the things that you see, or you may be quite pleased. How can a look feel so good? I walk through the desert, praying that I'll make it out alive. Crawling out of hallucination. I only hope I survive. I don't need no water, no wine. I just need your love and I'll be fine in the mirage of my mind. Have you ever stayed so long that your mind plays tricks on you? Imagine a scene so beautiful, but you know it can't be true. 'Cause you've been lost so long that you haven't got a clue. So much time's gone by without you. About to meet my maker, yeah. How can a look feel so good? I walk through the desert, praying that I'll make it out alive. Crawling out of hallucination. I only hope I survive. I don't need no water, no wine. I just need your love and I'll be fine in the mirage of my mind. our maker. Yeah. How can a look feel so good? I walk through the desert, praying that I'll make it out alive. Crawling to this hallucination, I only hope I survive. I don't need no water, no wine, I just need your love and I'll be fine. In the mirage of my mind, yeah, I walk through the desert, praying that I'll make it out alive. Crawling to this hallucination, I only hope I survive. I don't need no water, no wine, I just need your love and I'll be fine. In the mirage of my mind,